Hi, my name's Ike. Today I'm going to show you how to assemble a 24-inch 7-speed Brave bicycle. You've got a new bike. Let's open the box and see what's inside. In the box, you'll find the saddle, pedals, derailleur guard, seat post, bell, and reflectors, and all the tools you should need to assemble the bike. Carefully remove all the protective packaging on the bike. Make sure the cables are routed cleanly and not twisted around the back of the frame. The dropouts in the front brake should be facing forward, away from the rider. And now we're going to install the handlebar. Take your large hex wrench and remove the 4 bolts on the face of the stem. Position the handlebar in the stem and replace the faceplate and bolts. Make sure to tighten the bolts little by little in a cross pattern. Double check to make sure that the handlebar is centered in the stem and positioned in line with the fork. Next, we're going to install the front wheel. In order to do that, we're going to have to open the front brake. Squeeze the caliper while pulling outward and upward on the brake cable in order to do this. Loosen the nuts on both sides of the axle. When installing the wheel, make sure that the washers are on the outside of the dropouts. You'll want to insert the wheel with the tread pattern facing forward in the direction of travel. Make sure the wheel is completely seated in the dropouts before tightening the nuts with your crescent wrench. Once the wheel has been installed, you can close the front brake. When the front brake is closed, pull the lever a couple of times to make sure it is secure. Next, let's adjust the brake pads. We need to do this for the front and rear wheel of the bicycle. Use a hex wrench to loosen the bolt on the brake pad assembly. Then line up the brake pad with the brake track of the wheel. Make sure that the entire pad contacts the wheel and that it does not touch the tire. Squeeze the brakes to make sure that both pads are contacting the brake track at the same time. If the brakes are not centered, you can use a small screwdriver to turn the screws and center the caliper. Most bikes come with the brakes perfectly centered out of the box, so you shouldn't have to worry about this. Next, we'll install the seat. Use a crescent wrench to install the saddle into the seat post clamps. Make sure the bolts are nice and tight. The saddle should not be tilted upward or downward, it should be perfectly straight. Make sure that your saddle is lined up parallel with the frame of the bike. The seat post has a quick release for easy installation and adjustment. It's important to apply a polyurea grease lubricant to the threads on the pedals before installation. You can find this at any hardware store, and a toothbrush works great for application. You can tell which pedal goes to which side of the bike by the L and R stickers on them. It's important to remember that the left pedal is installed by turning it counterclockwise, and the right pedal is installed by turning it clockwise. Start by making them finger tight, and then finish the job with your crescent wrench. Install the derailleur guard using the included hardware. You might have to squeeze it a little bit to line up the holes on the guard with the holes on the frame. Make sure to install the reflectors before hitting the road. The red one goes on the rear, and the white one goes on the front. Last but not least, install the bell. Give your bike a safety check before taking it for your first ride. Make sure the angle of the handlebar is in line with the fork and that all the stem bolts are properly tightened. Make sure that the fork doesn't rotate separately from the handlebars. And that's how you build a 24-inch 7-speed Brave bicycle in just a few easy steps.